Hey, it's me, and welcome to Trump Mafia. Now, we're guys, and you know, it's kind of girly to gossip, but I really want to make an exception for this Secretary of State issue. Now, you have so many people being added, and then some people being dropped, and it's like, wow, who's going to be Secretary of State? Now, of course, I have my favorite, John Bolton. And recently, Donald Trump dropped Rudy Giuliani, which it's kind of a tough thing to do. You have somebody who's a close friend and he's been helping you since the beginning, making speeches for you, campaigning with you, going everywhere, helping you. And then you have to tell your friend, hey, you're not going to be Secretary of State. Now, I can understand that because I always worried about Rudy Giuliani with his security business overseas. It's a potential to be a Clinton 2.0. And I'm not even joking. I mean, that would have been possible. Because the Secretary of State includes a giant department, and it's almost a little bit isolated and a little bit separate from the cabinet. And it's a pretty powerful position for that reason. So, if you have someone that may use it for his own means, not that he would, but he could. And maybe, yeah, I think it's possible. It's a risk. It's a big risk. And maybe he's also a little bit too old, or, he's not a go-getter, and he's bald and a little guy. I don't know. Just doesn't fit with the whole Trump thing. Now, if you look at some of these other people, Mitt Romney, with Mitt Romney, he's being so anti-Trump that he's going to keep on being anti-Trump, and he's kind of the guy behind the scenes that is organizing not only the anti-Trump, but also, the Chamber of Commerce and open borders, and he's basically Paul Ryan's father. Now, the options you have with Mitt Romney are as follows. You can assassinate him, you can threaten his family and force him to shut up or comply. You can send him to Gitmo and waterboard him, or send him into exile to Botswana, and maybe he can be a Mormon missionary there, and ask for 10%. It's like, give me 10% of your chickens. Hilarious. Or you can keep him as an employee, where he's under full control, and he can do all this monkey business. I mean, it's not even legal. And he's completely at your mercy. Now, that is a good option. Keep your enemies really close so you can control them. But on the other hand, like I said, the State Department is a department which is a little bit isolated, and the Secretary of State can really do a lot, just like Hillary Clinton showed. And so to give Mitt Romney, a Mormon, the State Department, and then he has his Chamber of Commerce connections, yeah, it's going to be a lot of pay for play, in a way. And maybe that's the purpose of the Secretary of State, in a way that it becomes like a facilitator for business. And that's not what you want. Now, Mitt Romney is conservative in terms of foreign policy, I guess, so he would be pretty tough. And maybe he is good at negotiating. If he can be such an a-hole to Donald Trump and, be like a stiff Mitt, then maybe in negotiations with overseas people, maybe he can be as tough and stubborn. So that would be some things in the plus column. But I personally hope that this guy does not become Secretary of State. I mean, maybe he would use it as a way, to, build up for another presidential run, or to give his friends favors. I don't know. Now, then you have some various other people. You have Petraeus, who, he's a little bit dodgy. On the other hand, he did a good job with the surge and everything. I mean, there's some big question marks on the guy, but he's also very capable. And being, a military man, he did negotiate with some really hardcore groups and succeeded. So he has some plus and minuses, but he's not really a person I thought of as Secretary of State. Okay? Now you have this guy from Exxon. Now with business leaders that are suddenly made a Secretary of State, I just don't see how that really helps. Even though the guy understands the energy sector, Secretary of State is many more things than just business connections or whatnot. You really need somebody who's really tough at negotiating. Now, John Bolton has always been my favorite, and to be honest, I believe, and of course I don't have any confirmation of any kind, but I just believe that Donald Trump has always been watching John Bolton and likes his personality. I mean, you may say he's, part of the Bush era or the wars or whatnot, but, some of these people are just professionals and they do as what their boss is demanding them to do, right? But he's a tough guy, and I think the essence of the guy is that he's really good at negotiating, he's very knowledgeable, and there's no way anyone overseas will pull one over on this guy. I mean, John Bolton is really intelligent and very knowledgeable. And some say he's, like a Zionist or too much pro-Israel, but honestly, when you see the onslaught of Saudi Arabia and ISIS and the migrant flows and all of that, what you need is someone who is more pro-Israel, just to send out a signal, if nothing else, just to say, watch yourself. And I think John Bolton would be the best choice. Now in the Senate, of course, they don't really like John Bolton, and I can understand that. I mean, the guy is not exactly, a warm, cuddly creature. I mean, he's really tough. And I just always believe that a lot of secretaries of state in the past have been these diplomats and, they have gravitas. Just like John Kerry is walking around like a peacock and like Lurch, like a ghoul, but like a peacock as well. That you say, whoa, it's John Kerry, he has gravitas. Oh, he's having a meeting with the president of Mozambique. No, I mean, you want a guy that is a tough negotiator. You don't want someone that is like a famous, quote-unquote, diplomat or, drinking cognac and smoking a cigar and, let's have a 3-hour meeting about a 1-minute issue. I don't know, I just think John Bolton is someone who can really change that whole State Department, make it more tough and make it more fitting and corresponding to the cabinet, not have it be isolated and like a little United Nations. No, let's make it, a department that is really as tough as the Department of Defense, just handling other issues. So my pick is John Bolton, and I really hope that Donald Trump picks John Bolton.
All right, all right, all right.